Hey guys, what's up? It's Monkazunky and welcome to day 5 of the boss hunting week. So for today we're going to be going over Nex, and Nex is probably one of the most popular bosses in the game. Even to this day, even though there's so many other better bosses to choose from, a lot of people really still love Nex. And Nex, unfortunately, has not aged that well because, well, if you look at the prices of Nex items, they're not worth a whole lot. But there is a pet associated with the boss, as with most bosses. A pet that I would love to get one day, but haven't quite got to that stage yet. But I decided to knock out some kills the past couple of days, and I'm going to be showing you guys some loot. So in total, I got 55 kills done at Nex. And I think that's a reasonable amount. I can say I did a mixture of solo, duo, and trio, and that's probably not going to be the most helpful when it comes to like what you can expect to make per hour at Nex if you're looking to do this boss yourself. However, I did attempt solo. My initial plan was to just solo this boss for 5 or 6 hours, and that didn't turn out so well, so I decided to do a mixture of duo and trio depending on how many friends were on and wanted to go at the time. So that's what I ended up doing, just because it is much faster kill count and it is much easier just duoing or trioing the boss, and a lot less hassle and a lot less effort and a lot more fun, because you also get to hang out with friends at the same time, which I always enjoy quite a bit. So I think Nex is still, even to this day, one of the most popular bosses in the game, and the drops aren't worth a whole lot anymore. Of course, you know, the Nex items, you're not going to make bank from them, but if you still get a lot of those Onyx drops and even a lot of the regular drops like green dragon hides or magic seeds, they still hold a decent value, so you can still make some money here. So the one thing about Nex that is interesting is I think probably for most of you that are into PvM, either this boss or Calfight King is most likely the boss that you started to learn PvM on, because with the release of Evolution in Combat, Nex was the main boss in the game. And yeah, Calfight King did come out a few months later, and it did offer an alternative to people that didn't want to Nex or didn't like Nex, like me, for example. However, this is a boss that a lot of people learned how to PvM on, and because of that, it's probably going to hold a soft spot in a lot of people's hearts. So I personally also learned PvM on Nex, for the most part, at least the Evolution in Combat style of PvM, moving beyond killing stuff like Corporal Beast and Dagonoth Kings, which I used to do all the time before the Evolution in Combat came out, but obviously using abilities was much different, and this is the boss that taught me, and probably a lot of you, how to do EOC PvM. So there is that in the boss. I do appreciate this boss a lot for what it used to do, and it used to be amazing money if you duoed Nex, you know, 2 or 3 years ago, and you could kill it relatively quickly with stuff like dual Virtus and full Virtus armor. Nex did have much lower stats, much lower defense back in the day as well, so she was a lot easier to kill, and it was just amazing money. I can remember making over 10 mil an hour at this boss, just because the drops are not that rare and they used to be worth a lot. That's not so much the case anymore, but this is still a worthy boss to kill because you can still get the pet drops, and you can also duo this boss on like a fast mode instance, and it's still okay money doing that. So we're going to go through some of the drops here. We did get a few Nex items, which I was happy to see. You know, only 53 kills, so there was a decent chance of not getting a drop at all. However, that did not happen. So I'm really happy to tell you guys that drops did happen. And also, in addition to the drops, we got a lot of Onyx bolts, which is the best item to get outside of a pet or one of the Nex specific drops. And Onyx bolts is always nice. It's a decent over 1 mil for everyone, I believe, if you are in a trio kill, and closer to 2 mil in a duo kill, and it's over 3 mil in a solo kill. So that's one of my favorite drops to get in a solo, because it just, you know, it pays for all your supplies, which almost every drop does, but then on top of that, you profit quite a bit as well. So the first drop we got was a Virtus robe top, and that was 7 mil, so not one of the better ones, but it was nice just to get a drop, because it had been quite a while at that point since I'd had my last Nex drop, so I was happy to see it on the ground. And then just a couple of kills later, we also got a Torva plate body. So those were the 2 drops that we got. Both of them were trio. So again, the split was not amazing, but it did add a pretty nice value. And I believe this trip alone was close to 10 mil profit just with those 2 drops. So that was pretty nice. That's a really good amount to make in a trio fast spawn instance for 1 hour. Also, I had planned to do more than 53 Nex kills, because that's not an awful lot. You can get that pretty fast in the fastest spawn instances, which we were doing trio for about half the time. However, Time Warner Cable had other ideas. They sent a repairman out to our house earlier today to fix some internet issues, and as a result of that, wasn't able to get as much Nex done as I would like to. However, we still made a decent amount of money. So here is the loot of the 55 next kills. They were a mixture of duo and trio. So the loot is going to contain some kind of weird numbers, and that's just because the splits with some items get a bit strange if you split in duo or split with 3 people. But this is all the loot that we got, over 20 mil for only about 5 hours spent at Next, which is pretty good. It's a little bit lucky with all the Onyx bolts. You're normally not going to get that many, but still a decent amount of money made for a boss that I never considered to be very good money these days, so maybe I was wrong about that. Okay, so that's it for day 5 of the PVM week. Since it is a week, and since there's 7 days in a week according to my sources, there's still 2 days left of PVM. One of those 2 days is going to be Virago. What's the other one going to be? It may just be a surprise to you guys, but regardless, I will see you guys tomorrow with the next day of the PVM week, the second to last day. I'm really excited for it and looking forward to it. Hopefully we'll make some good money then. But until tomorrow, have a good one. Farewell.